Hi everyone, welcome back to FK Labs. It's been forever since I made a video. I know I need to do an update on all this stuff. I've acquired quite a lot of test equipment, as you can probably tell. I should do an update video at some point. So anyway, not particularly happy today because, well, yesterday I came into here after cleaning and kind of storing my latest acquisition, this HP 8981 vector analyzer, which is working fine now. Just needed to change a few of the Refa X-Class caps in there, and I had to clean the case a bit. It was a little bit dirty, but now it's fine. I went to turn on my trusty 8567 spectrum analyzer, and I was greeted by this. So it passes the power on self-test, no instrument check. Or instruction check, I should say. Let's put the intensity all the way at the top here. Come on. Come on. Nope. It's not gonna do it. Blank screen. There is nothing on the screen whatsoever. And no, I do not have the display turned off. I know there's a hotkey here, Shift G and H. You can turn the CRT on and off to minimize wear, but usually when you do an instrument preset on this thing, it turns that off. And I tried turning it on with that hotkey and it still did not show anything on the display, so yeah. I don't know what happened, because the last time I used it before that, it just worked. Everything was fine. And all the functionality seems to be there. Like, it all seems to be working, it's just the display that's not doing anything, so time to investigate. Guess I'll have to open up the display section, but first I'm gonna check if there is video coming out of the XYZ ports at the back. Alright, just got done hooking this thing up. If we look at the back here, we've got the XY and blank coaxes coming over to here. A little bit of a mess, I know, but it's gonna do the job for testing. And we've got that going into this scope, which has a blanking input at the back, so that's where this coax is going to. X and Y mode, so that should be ready to go. Let's turn on the spectrum analyzer and see if we get anything on that display. Because if we do, the main part of the display section is working fine, and it's just the CRT that's not doing the right thing. It should be booted up. Give me a little bit of extra intensity. Oh yeah! Yeah, there it is. Look, that's full intensity. And that's looking pretty good. It's a little bit off-center. You can adjust that though. Just gotta delay it a bit more. There you go. Might be a little bit out of focus, but this display is very small anyway. You can see it's also off just a little bit. The grid does not align itself perfectly with the frequency 0 marker there, but apart from that it's fine. So we've got that's just a readout from the scope. That doesn't mean anything, but start 0 Hz, stop 1.5 gig. Video bandwidth 1 meg, resolution bandwidth 3 meg, 20 milliseconds of sweep, and looks like we have data. Rev at 0 dBm. Yeah, this is just what you'd expect after doing an instrument preset, which is what this thing does every time you power it on. So, yeah. It's just the display. The CRT that's not doing its job here. Yeah, something's died in the CRT drive circuit. So, well, answers that at least. Time to get the service manual out. So, moving through the troubleshooting procedure here, nothing seemed fairly unusual. All the power supply voltages checked out, so before wiring up all the test setups to check the intensity control for the CRT, I decided to pull the which one's this? The I think that's the A1 A6 voltage regulator assembly out, and didn't look. I didn't see anything looking too catastrophic. But you know, there are 3 fuses on there, so I decided to check those, and we can go over here and do that real quick. Just demonstrate what I did, because I did find one thing. So up on closer inspection, you know, we just went in here with a beater on continuity mode. So that fuse checks good. That one checks good. And this one checks open. And I decided to pull this one out. Looked up the manual to see where that one was, and that one is F100 here on this specific board. That's the correct revision right there, 6250. And if we look at the schematics here, also you gotta see which one it is again. There are a few different revisions of these, but I think it's this one. Yeah, there it is. There you can see that's fuse 100. And that's a 500 milliamp fuse, which is what this is. And that comes right from the 23 volt unregulated input and is basically the main power supply for the high voltage supply. So that would explain why the CRT is not lit. Because if this thing's not running, it's not going to get any acceleration voltage. I don't think it'll get filament voltage. Because I think this... on this one they generated with a winding on the high voltage transformer, which isn't on this board, but this board is what drives the high voltage power supply assembly, which is on another board. So without this board getting power, that's not gonna work, obviously. The weird thing about this fuse is that it doesn't really look blown. The wire in there is still there, so I assume what has happened is due to just aging and vibration, that wire in there has broken on one end. You can't see it, you can't see the break in the wire because it's a 500 milliamp fuse, it's super thin. I also checked that rail for shorts, it doesn't seem shorted or anything, so I think I'm just gonna pop a new fuse in and see if it works. Well, check this out, it just fell apart, I picked it up by the other end, so that would do it. I guess the wire just fell off. Can't even see the wire in there. Put the board back in with a new fuse, so we'll see if it works. That looks good. No instruction check or instrument check, whatever that LED is. See if we get a display. And we have our display back. Fuse that broke due to age. That's definitely a first for me. There it is. That's working. Excellent. Okay, I gotta put this cover back on because without this cover on, this thing would overheat within a couple of minutes because it needs this cover to kind of route the air through the RF cages here and the video generator. But it works. Just need to put the thing back together. So there we go. The spectrum analyzer is back in the rack and it looks like it's perfectly happy. Display seems to be working just fine. Might as well hook a signal up to it. I've got the 8662A fired up, so let's connect the signal to it to see if it'll display it. It's probably gonna be fine. Because the thing was working right before the display failed. Everything else was fully functional. So it was just that fuse that failed due to age. It's a thing that happens with these. It's not common, but you know, after these things are getting up to like 40 years of age now, it's okay to have something fail at that point. It's keen, like, I don't know, 500 meg at minus 20 dBm. Why not? Just an arbitrary number here. Oh yeah, it's got that sensitivity. Look, I just have to bring this close to the input and you can already see a little peak right there. If I connect it up all the way, and there it is. There's your, give me a marker real quick. There's your, where is it? So there's your fundamental at 495. Yeah, it's not perfectly calibrated yet. And your first harmonic at 1 gig, almost 1 gig. You can just do a peak search. It's gonna find the one at 0. But you can move the marker there manually. These are really nice to operate as well. And you just go marker to center frequency, and now we can crank the span down a little bit to get more resolution out of the thing. Readjust the center. Beautiful. So I guess that does it. Fairly easy repair, but hey, I'd rather have an easy repair than having to chase down a short in the power supply with a high voltage generator. That would have been a pain in the ass. Well, I guess that does it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you soon, huh? Hopefully I'll be able to post some more updates on all this equipment in here in the near future, because it's, yeah, I know, it's lacking a little bit of context right now.